Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching my video. So, in today's workout, today's vlog, I'm going to be covering my push workout. You know, push, which is chest, shoulders, and a little bit of triceps. So, yeah, I like to start off with crucifix raises with like the cuffs. Why do I like to use the cuffs? Because they really remove the tension of my like grip, thereby really helping me isolate my lateral delts and my rear delts. Now, if you want that nice cup-like look on your shoulders, then you don't want to be training your front delts because they already receive a lot of work from your heavy presses. But you really need to be hammering the fuck out of your lateral and your rear delts, basically. So yeah, sorry about that. My phone just went off. So yeah, and I like to do like 2 sets of these in the like 10 to 12 rep range, basically. But this is just me starting the first week of my mesocycle, so I'm just looking at where my reference points are. And this is an excellent exercise. This is like one of the best delt builders because, in case if you see, I'm pulling the handles basically in the direction of my lateral delts, which is sideways and backwards basically. So yeah, you know. And why do I like to use a bench? Because it keeps me super stable, minimizing any sort of swaying back and forth from the torso. So yeah, I like to go on failure on all of these sets because hammering your delts is not really going to be that fatiguing. Then immediately post that, I do like 2 sets on the incline plate loaded press. And I like to like really like arch my spine, take like a nice 1 second pause at the bottom, and boom, drive up. Yeah, like to keep my legs nice and wide, keep my shoulder blades pinched back, push my upper chest to the sky, up to the sky, and keep my core nice and tight. So yeah, and I like to train this in the 6 to 10 rep range because anything about like 10 reps in my case like makes me feel like I'm doing cardio. It just psychologically helps me as well. So yeah, then that's like the second set. Then this no, that was the first set. This is my second set. Now the way I like to do this is I like to ensure that my hands are stacked up directly under my elbows, especially at the bottom. I take like a nice 1 second pause at the bottom. I go like 3 seconds on the way down, 1 second pause, and boom, drive up. I ensure that the height of the bench is adjusted in a way that the handles stack up between my nipples and my collarbone, because that's where most of your mid chest fibers insert. So, yeah. And this is me going till true failure. I presume like 1 rep in reserve. I don't really like to train till true failure, but my coach has told me like you gotta expose yourself to failure just to see where your reference points are. Then post that, I do some form of plate loaded flat press. Well, this is not really a flat press. This is more of like a semi-flattish, semi-declinish press. I start the motion off by using like some assistance to help me load the weight off the rack, and same principles. Adjust the height of the bench in a way that you are like stacking up the handles between your nipples and your collarbones. Take like a nice 1 second pause at the bottom, keep your spine arched, pinch your shoulder blades back, and that basically is it. Why am I wearing slippers? Well, I actually feel comfortable when I wear slippers inside the gym. And it's not really a commercial box gym, but it's more of like a hardcore bodybuilding gym. So most of the people are actually wearing slippers inside the gym. So yeah, hey, whatever helps you perform, yeah. So yeah, then I think I've recorded like another set of this, but again, I do like 2 sets of 6 to 10 repetitions in this. Now, one small little tweak that I made in the second set of this particular exercise is that I got the bench a bit further down and I got my grip a bit more closer. Why? Because in the previous set, there was a lot of strain on my shoulder because there was a lot of movement on my shoulder joint. So I got a bit closer and there's a little bit more movement around your elbow joint. If you get your hands closer, there's going to be more movement around your elbow joint. If you get your hands wider, there's going to be more movement around your shoulder joint. But like the sweet spot lies somewhere between the two. But as you can probably see, there's not like a straight line like curve. It's more of like a bell like curve. It starts off going upwards and then it slightly goes downwards, if that makes perfect sense. So that really helps me feel like the mid and the low chest fibers, basically. And I get like a fair share number of reps on this one. This is like true failure. I think I've got like another 1 or 2 reps in reserve. Easy, like another rep in reserve from the way it looks like. There you go. That's more like 0 reps in reserve, as per me. Some might probably say I've got like another rep in reserve, but yeah. Then immediately after that, I like to do some sort of JM press. Now, JM press is, as some I like to call it, it's a closed grip barbell Smith machine press. But I do this as one of my tricep builders because if I just do direct isolation work for my tricep, like it really like screws my elbow joint. So I like to do something of a press. Now, how far should your grip be? How wide should your grip be? Well, when you press the weight up, the grip should stack up directly above your shoulder joint. Not too wide, not too close, directly above it, basically. Now, whether you flare out your elbows or whether you ensure that your elbows are pointing forwards, that's upon individual preference. And I like to take like a pause at the bottom. I like the bar to almost touch my chest, whatever feels easy on your joints. But you want the first rep to almost look like the last rep. And in this exercise, I train 2 sets in the 6 to 10 rep range. So yeah, that's my second set, I think. Yeah. So yeah. There you go. The second set actually felt a bit more comfortable because I made a few adjustments. I got the bench a bit more forward, you know, and the barbell landed almost towards my chin / collarbone, basically. And in this case, I went up till true failure. I think I've got like another rep in reserve. And just do note that I put my JM presses after my heavy chest presses, basically, because that's when the triceps are a bit more fatigued. And you get more by doing less. You know, when it comes to training, less is more. You want to do the bare minimum to reap out the maximum. Now, when the triceps are exhausted, then I just top it off with like a little bit of overhead cable tricep extensions, but not done in like a upwards fashion, but it's more of like done like in a sideways fashion because most of the people's shoulders are externally rotated, basically. The setup is a bit of a pain in the ass because it's more of like a crisscross sort of a thing, but I ensure that my elbows are not pointing way too sideways, but they're slightly pointing semi-sideways, semi-forwards, basically, more of like sideways. See what feels comfortable for you, and I slightly hinge my elbows upwards as well because that makes me feel really, really good. I do like 2 sets of these in the 10 to 15 rep range. Take like a nice 1 second pause at the bottom. Now, a lot of people, they don't really lock out their elbows, but they go all the way down where they stretch out their triceps. That's absolutely cool because the stretch is going to cause most of the muscle growth. So yeah, I'll leave it up to individual preference. See what doesn't really aggravate your elbow joints as well. So yeah, in total, 4 sets of triceps, 4 sets of chest, 2 sets of shoulders, and 3 sets of, no, more of like 6 sets of shoulders, basically. So yeah, and that was true failure achieved. But like after working with my coach, we have drastically reduced the volume and we've started doing less because we want to, psychologically, I like doing lower volume and I like training with more intensity. And why didn't I do lateral raises at the start of my workout compared to the crucifix raises? Because lateral raises will fatigue the grip, but the crucifix raises don't really fatigue the grip. And yeah, this is, there's not much for me to say. I don't really understand the rationale behind the programming, but that's what my coach has done, and I basically follow what my coach does. And in case if any of y'all are curious, which gym is this? This is the Dungeon Gym. Now, my programming is with regards to my photo shoot, so aim is to drop to 62 kilos. So yeah, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and have a nice one.